I grew up in Dairyland, oldest of 14 kids, and went to school at Webster Integrated High Schools. There I graduated in 1967. I was valedictorian of my class. I decided to enlist since my dad was a Marine Corps veteran of World War II and served in the South Pacific. Anyway, I got into boot camp August 1st, 1967, San Diego. They put me in electronics school, and the Marines trained me as a radar technician or radar repairman. We shipped out to Vietnam in latter part of December of 1969. Didn't know where I was going, and all I knew was I was going to be going to Da Nang via Hawaii and Okinawa. We stayed on Okinawa for 3 days, and then we went to Da Nang. When I got there, they gave me my orders, and I was assigned to 3rd Battalion, 7th Marines, which is infantry. And when I got there, I was a sergeant at the time, E5 sergeant, so when I got there to the 3rd Battalion, 7th Marines, I was assigned a headquarters and service, company, which maintains the radios, teletypes, communications, and all that stuff. I was stationed 35 clicks south of Da Nang at LZ Baldy. There's a refueling area for helicopters coming in. It was a fuel dump also. That's Landing Zone Baldy is what LZ stands for, of course. Right outside where our building was a bunker with all the radio communications in there. And I'd pull what they call, guard duty. I was a NCO in charge of guard duty a lot. I had to patrol a little village outside of LZ Baldy to look, search for unauthorized personnel. And in doing that, I met some pictures are in there of, I met the local mayor, and a couple of his daughters are in there, and then a bunch of little kids, so we'd go through the village and patrol that. The one time I was fortunate I had the duty because in our communications officer, our first lieutenant's office, somebody put 2 grenades underneath a flak jacket on a little sofa that we had in there. And normally in the morning, I'd be in there, going over what was going on for the day, anything new that was coming up, if they knew if there was a pending attack or if we were going to get a bunch of radios in. And I was in the bunker, on guard duty, and all of a sudden we heard an explosion, went running out, and one of the other guys had picked up the flak jacket and, exploded, and one guy was killed. And you never knew who was the enemy or not because the Viet Cong didn't wear uniforms. We were a couple times attacked, sapper attacks coming in through the wire. Sappers were just, Viet Cong or whatever, they would try to get through the barbed wire and the perimeter fence like that to get in and, throw grenades. The one sapper attack we had, one of the men they found in the wire was the guy that had been coming in as a barber cutting our hair. But I had it easy, I think, compared to a lot of the guys that were over there. I was over there for a little over 7 months, and we were just moving to another base. The battalion was moving. And it just barely got there, and then I got word that the Red Cross contacted the Marines, and my dad and sister drowned back in just outside of Dairyland, between Dairyland and Minong. So they brought me back home. At the time they were letting guys out early, so they figured I had enough time, and being the oldest of 14, and that time I was 21 years old, so they let me out to help out at home a lot, so that's why I got out early. I came home on emergency leave, and it was to a rural area where a lot of the folks knew me. It wasn't like in a big city where there was a lot of protests or anything like that, so I didn't have too hard of a time compared to other guys. I never really had any bad experience. I never publicized the fact that I was, a Vietnam veteran, until lately, didn't wear anything. The only thing it showed was the USMC on my arm, a tattoo I got when I was young and foolish, like a lot of guys did.